Hi, Monique. How are you?
I am doing well. Hello from Vancouver,
And hello to
Vancouver, British
everybody.
Columbia.
Yeah, and hello
Yeah,
to everybody's watching this evening. Welcome and to the Spiritual Talk. Another Wednesday, Monique.
it is. It's the start of my day, and I would tend to guess that the weather's probably similar. It's kind of
Absolutely.
gray and rainy, so
It's been not too
not.
bad. It's that time of year, isn't it?
It
Unfortunately.
sure is, but it is beautiful here with the leaves. It's unbelievably beautiful.
So we got no
So
comments, guys. If you're watching, oh, we got Andy saying hello. I'm really struggling. Can I have a message? Okay, we'll see if you come back later. Well, don't come back later. Hopefully, you'll stay tuned to watch Debs. We got a brilliant interview this evening, and I can't wait to get this person back on that we had on before. I don't want to say too much just yet, but Monique, you wasn't here when we interviewed our guest originally. The
not
guest that
last
we
time,
got on
no.
time. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have this guest come back on. And I believe in the history of spiritual talk, there's only been one other person that's been on twice. Do we know who that was?
Was it when I was here for both?
Yes, it was you, Monique. I'm pulling your leg.
Oh, it
Sorry
was
about
me.
that. It was you.
It was me.
I
Excuse
gotcha.
me.
Yeah. So Debs is now in a very elite club. So should we get Debs in? So before we get Debs in, let me introduce her properly. Debs
Please.
is a well-known medium working throughout the UK. She has been teaching, she mentors, and personally, I know her. We're friends on Facebook. I see so many different bits and pieces that work that she's doing, mentoring services she's doing. So I'm really excited about tonight's interview because we're not just going to be talking about her journey. We're going to be talking about the ever-changing dynamic of mediumship. So let's get Debs
Interesting
in
topic.
straight
Yes.
away. Oh, I've just caught you as you were taking a sip of water.
That's okay. Hi, Paul. Hi,
Uh,
Monique.
Hello, Debs.
so
Hi. So
Hi.
nice to have you.
Thank you.
Sorry I missed you the first time around, but I'm lucky I get a chance to talk to you today.
Well,
So,
thank you for inviting me back. It's my pleasure.
yeah, not
awesome.
at
It's
all.
lovely to have you on live because last time you was recorded. It's nice to
Thank
have
you.
you on live. It's absolutely brilliant. So we wanted to just quickly for those of people out there that didn't see the first interview, and it is worth going to have a quick look on that, guys. It's on our Facebook pages somewhere. But yeah, just to quickly recap, Debs, can you talk a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, sure. So, typical medium in that, I sensed spirit as a child. I said this in the last interview, that from the age of 2.5, well, between 2.5 and 3, I was aware of spirit. And I had many, like many mediums, many experiences with spirit growing up. And for example, so I would see spirit objectively, just as real as you and I, and that would sometimes freak people out. And I've been told actually often as an adult now, where people would say, do you know, we thought you was a strange child, Debs, because I'd spend hours playing with somebody who they couldn't see, and then in my 20s, I wanted to learn how to be in control of my mediumship, to be able to switch it off. And I just found, I know it's a cliche, but it really was a feeling of coming home, because here were these group of people that were just like me, and they believed in the same things I believed in. And then I learned, obviously, that it's a religion. We call it spiritualism, or, however you want to see it, a group of like-minded people. And it really went from there. But I am what I would call a self-taught medium, because I was living abroad. I didn't really have the ability to go to workshops, classes, and things like that. So, but it's certainly been a journey.
That because that's the thing, isn't it? As in today's younger generation that are coming through, so many now teachers out there. There's so much. All three of us are sitting here. We're all mediums in our own right. We've all had our own personal journey, but it's how we come to that mediumship. I mean, I was lucky I met the right teacher at the right time, but not everybody has that luck, I mean, in terms of if you could change anything, Debs, on your journey, was there anything you change, or would you say it's just synchronicity, you're quite happy with. Is there anything you would change?
I don't think I would change anything, because I think a lot of the mistakes I made along the way has actually been beneficial, particularly when it comes to teaching other students, because we can empathize, we can understand their situation and the difficulties they go through. So I almost feel when we come across stumbling blocks, or we want to continue developing, but we don't know how or where to go, I think that actually enriches us as teachers, because we've been through it ourselves. So I don't think I would change anything, to be honest with you. And I believe everything came about when it was meant to come about, So no, I don't think I would.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing that way, isn't it?
Oh,
when you
yes.
look back, you can see the stepping stones. It's quite amazing.
Absolutely. And all mediumship is experimental. All of it's experimental. And perhaps if I'd started working as a medium when I was younger, maybe I wasn't ready emotionally or mentally. I believe when I started working with it, that was the right time,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the other subjects we wanted to talk about is the ever-changing dynamic. Is that the right word? Of mediumship and modern mediumship, platform, evidential, readings. There's so much. And this is a great opportunity for people that are listening tonight to get your questions in, because you're doing a lot of teaching now, Debs, aren't you?
Yeah.
You obviously CSNU certificate. I can't get my words out tonight. You have the CSNU certification. Are you teaching alongside a CSNU, or is that something that's happened? Because I maybe this is a prediction, because I see you doing that. So there you go. Right.
Okay. I've been teaching for years, and always sort of up to the point of my own sort of understanding, but I absolutely love teaching. And when I'm teaching, I can feel the spirit world is so close to me. I just love it. And for me, it's the moment where you can see with your student, the light bulb's gone on and they've got it.
Yeah.
And it's just so satisfying.
Yeah.
The difficulty with teaching is sometimes that a lot of students have to almost unlearn to relearn, where they've maybe got stuck in a certain way of thinking, or unfortunately, they haven't been taught something correctly, which is hindering their development. But their challenges I enjoy too, to be able to open up somebody's mind and look at what possibilities are there for them.
Yeah. And I would imagine that's particularly challenging right now, because anybody can go online and get teachers, and there's a vast amount of choice out there. So I can imagine it would be challenging for you sometimes.
Absolutely. But I'm a big believer in that students shouldn't stick to one teacher. They're not my students or that person's students. My students will always hear me say this: treat everything like a buffet. If you like it, put it on your plate. If you don't like it, and that includes what I teach, and if you don't like it, leave it. But the biggest thing I would say to students is watch your teacher work, or their potential teacher work. Watch them, see if they can not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, and then see if their style of mediumship and how they work would be of interest. And then I would say, have a few teachers, because you'll take bits and pieces from everybody.
True.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a football. I used to do a lot of football coaching.
Oh wow!
And it's a similar sort of philosophy. We kind of aspire to certain managers, but watch different coaches how they work and take the best from that. It's the same kind of principle, really. Kind of, and then hopefully find your own unique style.
That's it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Monique, for yourself with your your artwork as well, with your mediumship, there's a whole balance that you've got going on there, and your uniqueness as well. That's something that you've had to approach as well, isn't it?
Yes, and there's not a lot of spirit art teachers out there. So, but Debs, I'm sure you agree, spirit is also your teacher. So,
absolutely. We don't. The irony is, of course, we can't teach mediumship. That's our spirit teams, guides, whatever you want to call them. I call them spirit friends and team members. So they teach the medium. What we can do is we can help the medium, give them tools, guide them in the right direction. So potentially what we're offering is a framework, a space in which they can experiment and give positive, constructive feedback. And that's what we do. But of course, it's the spirit world that teaches the medium.
But it gives the student a chance to explore their own gifts, their own potentials.
Absolutely.
What resonates.
Absolutely. And there's this sort of misconception that the spirit team that works with the medium is all knowing. And it's not like that, because as the medium is developing, so is our team developing and learning how to work with us. And so when we're then a student, we get to try out different things, and the spirit team will be trying out different things with us. Oh, my medium got it. She understood. We'll do that again. So it's quite cool.
That is cool. And that's, I in my later years, I noticed that happening. In the beginning, nobody really explained that to me.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you brought that up.
Absolutely. It literally is teamwork. You know, and when the student gets that fabulous piece of evidence, but they're afraid to give it out in case they get a no, and then if they it's all about, I always see it as courage. You have to be a bit courageous, because as mediums we're naturally actually quite shy people. We're naturally typically quite reserved, and it's that courage to give it out. And then I believe when the information's correct and it's a fantastic piece of evidence, I can quite imagine the team that's working with that medium punching the air and going, yes, they said it, they've got it.
Absolutely, because there's so much from my perspective in terms that can be fear-based that you don't want to give sometimes, or it kind of can block you a little bit. But if you allow that self-doubt, that is a block in itself. Doubt is our own worst enemy.
Absolutely, because then we're no longer focusing solely on our contact. That part of ourselves, like that ego part of ourselves, the sense of self is kicked back in, hasn't it? So we're going to weaken the evidence then a little bit. It's
kind of okay though to have the ego. It's kind of okay to have that and not to kind of beat. I mean, I've kind of beat myself up when I've not given stuff, and then suddenly I knew a name, but I've not said it because I wasn't sure. Why didn't I just give it? And it doesn't. And that's another thing we can talk about, the no factor.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm teaching a lot at the moment, working with the no. And it applies to all abilities within mediumship, doesn't it? Whether you've been working for years and you're a seasoned medium, and because we never stop learning, the best medium I'm ever going to be is the day before I die. And I hope that in 2 years' time or in a year's time, my mediumship will be different again. And again, to not get stuck in this rut, we continually learn, and with that, working with the no, I think is important, because if we're not pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and then we are staying stuck. And the word no is inevitable, because we are people as mediums dealing with people in the spirit world, dealing with people here. Yeah. And I think the word acceptance is key, because we just have to accept it's part of our work. Yeah. And then the question is, well, how do we deal with that no? It's only a 2-letter word. Everybody's going to get a no. It's just part of the job we do. Yeah. It's just then getting that no cleared up then, going back and going, okay, and then just getting it sorted out.
Yeah. And being brave. I remember doing a demonstration. I've told this story many times, but I remember doing a demonstration. I was brave enough straight away. I said to the lady in front of the audience, I said, I've got your Uncle Douglas from Scotland. She went, oh no, love, we're all come from Norfolk. I know, Monique. I'm sorry, Monique. You've heard this story before.
Yeah.
Many times. But it's just, it makes me, because at the end of the demonstration, the lady came to me and she went, I'm so sorry, Paul. I completely forgot about my Uncle Douglas. So, but I just stand there.
Poor Uncle Douglas.
Yeah, I know. And she was like, oh, when do we go and get the bar? Just get out there. He's not very good. So you kind of just got to give it and not worry about it.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, it's not about us. It's about it's not about us. It's about spirit and our recipient, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So when she then went, oh my gosh, I remember now, in hindsight, that's a fantastic piece of evidence, because she went, oh yes, that was correct.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here so excited. So many things that Monique and I want to ask you about development, about mediumship. You know, so guys, if you're sitting at home, please get your questions ready, because this is a unique opportunity where we're just going to keep firing questions at Debs. I'm sorry, Debs, you've been.
That's all right.
So it really is a good opportunity to. We've had questions already coming in already from Carol Phillips. We're not quite finished. There is one question. I want to talk about modern mediumship, but I also want to talk about as an individual being spiritualized and understanding that aspect of our development. And what does that mean? What from someone sitting at home, how would you describe that? And how best to go about that as somebody that wants to embrace spirit and work with spirit? How do we become spiritualized? And how do we embrace that in our everyday life without sounding like we become a hippie or a monk that's going to go and sit on top of a mountain? How do we do it? It's such a difficult subject.
Yeah, there has to be balance, and I'm sure both of you have come across this as well, or fellow mediums that are watching. You know, people say, well, can you go into a supermarket and can you pick everything up from somebody? No, I think I would go crackers. We can't work like that. There has to be balance. So when we're working, we're working. When we're not, we're not. Yeah. But to spiritualize ourselves within our work, I feel that is so important. It seems to me that sometimes it's become almost a career for people. It's become like a job, and that some people possibly, I don't know, I can only assume, have lost sight of the fact that actually what we're doing is something so precious. And if we, for ourselves, if you look at the job of medium, is tremendously, it's an honor, isn't it? It's a massive honor, because without us, the spirit world's not going to have that voice. So what we're doing is something so precious. And then if there are people that sort of don't take on the spiritual aspect of it, I then wonder, do they actually believe in the spirit world? Because if you think about it, our job as mediums is to give that evidence and that proof, and then we come to accept the spirit world is real. But surely then that has a knock-on effect where I do spiritualize myself, and then we start asking questions like, well, what is the bigger picture in life, and what is my purpose here? And I believe in the end, it's to for our soul to express itself through this physical body. For some people, that could be through music, through art, through sport, through whatever it may be. In our case, it's through this vocation of mediumship. I also believe, because mediumship is an ability. We know this, it can be built on, but it's a spiritual gift. And when someone accepts and deepens the understanding of how precious it is what we're doing, then I believe it helps our mediumship grow. It can't go any other way. It has to go hand in hand. I hope that made sense, but it has to go hand in hand.
I feel like there's an element of commitment there too. At least there was for me.
Good point, Monique. That was spot on. Absolutely spot on.
When one commits to living a spiritual life, that's when things start to work for you, I believe. I mean, that's my experience. What would you say, Debs?
I was just thinking actually that what's then happening is we're looking at the bigger picture. Yeah. And the bigger picture is, I know some people don't like the word God, but this divine infinite power, that there's this phenomenal intelligence out there. And essentially, we are all constantly evolving, learning, growing. We're all on our own journeys, just going through life. But we are spiritual beings first, before we're human beings. And it's then wanting to draw ever closer to that divine power, that divine intelligence. Yes. And that's sort of, that's when we embody that, I believe that is then us spiritualizing ourselves. to understand actually there's something so much greater out there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's probably the feeling of commitment I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to that.
Yeah. Again, a commitment, yes, but if I may change that word, I don't know. The word commitment doesn't sit right with me. It almost feels like I'm stuck in this no matter what. And we have free will, and there are times, you know, commitments like it's almost like I've signed a contract and that's it. That's I feel it's a vocation. It's a vocation. Yeah, and there's times, you know, where as mediums we have an incredible amount of work, working on the platform, teaching, doing one-to-ones, whatever it is we're doing. And then we may have a phase where it's a bit quieter and we get on with our everyday normal physical lives. And it has to be that way because we're here to live a physical life.
Yes.
You know? We're here to experience life with its ups and downs, you know, and everything it throws at us. So, yeah.
But the other thing I was going to ask before we go to the questions, I wanted to talk about modern mediumship.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about mediumship not being a thing in the future. That we'll all be able to connect. We'll all be able to have information. I mean, to me personally, I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
But where do you see modern mediumship going, and especially today? In the world that we live in, so not just with social media, but everything speeding up, Debs. You know.
It's you know, only my 50 pence worth, my penny's worth of thoughts. But if we look at the amount of children that are being born that are now sensitive, sensitive to spirit, sensitive to, they know when there's something wrong with their dog, you know, or it seems to be more and more. But then not necessarily going to become mediums, but hopefully they'll go out in the world rather, and be compassionate people to do some good and contribute in a positive way. The spirit world, as we know, is so intelligent. And if we think of Silver Birch's books, for example, Silver Birch being the guide that worked through the medium of Maurice Barbanel, he spoke about I've just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Literally, my mind's just gone blank. Yes, this is it. Silver Birch spoke about that. The plan is to introduce spirit and the spirit world slowly this time, gradually over a period of time, so that it lasts. So I know that was written in one of the books, and I believe that is what's happening now.
Yeah.
And the changes, of course, when we look at not going right back to the birth of spiritualism, you know, 1848, but if we look at sort of post-war, the Second World War, again, it really kicked off, didn't it? Because there was this massive need there. My loved one who died in the war, are they okay? But it shifted again because the need is different now. The need now is more for people to have guidance in their lives. It shifted where it's almost become, before it was very much about the communicator, of course, but if you look at the messages that come through from spirit, it's very much about wanting to help the people here. And perhaps that is because, you know, there's so much social media and people are sort of more detached than they ever were before. People live all over the world. They don't all live close. Families don't live close together anymore. So it is very much more about the people here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you're ready with your questions, please send them through. We're going to start going to questions already. And we'll try and interject as we go along, if that's all right, Debs, with our 50 pence worth, as you say. So the first question is coming. Can you see this okay, Monique? This is from Carol Phillips. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. I'll read that. What would you suggest as the first step to further educate yourself? I'm reading, sitting in the power, learning to meditate, and learning about crystals. There is an online circle to join in November. Is this the right step? She's wondering.
Hi, Carol. Thanks for your question. From what I'm reading there, you seem to be doing all the right things. So when we first start off on this journey of wanting to consciously, actively develop, we're often like kids in a candy store. I know I was. I wanted to know about everything.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. You're doing the right things. You're educating yourself. You're sitting, which means you're building that bond with your spirit team that works with you. You're looking at an open circle. You're ticking all the right boxes. And I would say just keep an open mind to what you're drawn to and try out different things, because you don't know in which area your gift is really going to unfold. We might sometimes have an idea where we say to ourselves, I could see myself being a spirit artist or an inspirational writer. Yeah. But actually our spirit team might think, do you know what, you're better suited as a platform medium, or you're better suited as a trance speaker. So I would say to you, keep an open mind and just see what you're drawn to and enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got another question here from Tasha. Hi, Tasha. Okay, what made you take the SN route?
Thank you for your question, Tasha. I sort of fell into it. It wasn't something I sort of went, oh, I'm gonna do this. And it started where I signed up for a mentorship scheme. And you had to be a member of the SNU. And so that's how I came into it. But what I absolutely love is that the SNU offers many, many courses if you want to improve your public speaking skills, or if you want to, enhance your mediumship. And I did some work for the SNUI, which is the Spiritualist National Union International. And on their website, they constantly offer, if you're a member, which don't quote me on this, I think it's £20 a year, something like this. Mm-hmm. And you get access to all these free workshops and all these talks. So the SNU offers a lot, but I think it's also, maybe it's a personality thing. I quite like studying and reading. I enjoy doing the accreditations. And for anyone that's listening that's been thinking about doing accreditations, if you're not very, if you don't feel comfortable with writing essays, or if you don't feel comfortable working in this way, the SNU also offers support for students if they have, if they find it difficult to learn. So that support's there as well. But I still feel even now there's so much to learn. It's ongoing, and that's what I quite like about it. It's ongoing. Yeah.
And obviously, as we were trying to say, our mediumship is always changing. Yeah. Is that something that you found within your own work, Debs, that's happening lately or constantly? Or
I feel it goes through phases, and we can find a way where we're working with spirit. For example, we're doing a platform demonstration, and I almost find with myself, it's when I've got a little bit comfortable, then it changes. It's like they won't let it just settle, but it comes in stages. But we know when this happens and our mediumship is changing, we just have to keep an open mind. Mm-hmm. Because we know that every time we work, it can be different. There has to be flexibility there. And it does change. So I find with myself, it will go like this, then there's a change again, and it's ongoing. But this is something all mediums go through, and it doesn't stop. It's ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just going to quickly go through some more.
Because it is for the beginner, the students that are just starting out. They can misconstrue that, thinking that there's something wrong, that they're not learning or not growing, but in actuality, they're changing. The mediumship is changing, isn't it?
Yes, and when we look to the beginning of the conscious unfoldment, because spirit would have been developing them behind the scenes for a long time before it came to the forefront of their mind. For them, it's very much a period of the spirit team will be looking at what best can we do with my medium? What does my medium enjoy? Again, mediumship is always experimental, but particularly in the beginning. So it's flexibility, and again, it comes back to enjoying it, right? And just trying different things, see what you enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question, I think, from Carol. I can't read it very well on my screen.
Oh, would you call it up? I'll read it. Social consciousness seems to be waking up in different ways to help the planet. maybe that will become a form of spiritualism and lead to more awakenings. She's commenting.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if we look at lockdown, a lot of people through that period, that period where we couldn't go out, there wasn't a plane in the sky or a car on the road. A lot of people, because we were sort of forced to not be so busy, to be with self, a lot of people did go through an awakening. What do I mean by an awakening? Just realizing there's more to us actually than just skin and bone, than the physical body. So I do believe it's happening more and more, and it goes back to what I said earlier, that more and more children seem to be born that are sensitive children,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, there's some people asking for messages already. We'll do that at the end, but we can't ever guarantee who's going to come through those. So I'm sorry if we disappoint anyone. We only try to give a little taste of what Monique and I do at the end of the show. So hopefully stick around. This is a great interview. Okay, Carol Phillips, another one here. I want to give love and therapy and healing. And there's more stuff from Carol. Carol, I should have you in the studio. I think. When would you expect someone starting out to have their first experience with their spirit who are helping them? That's an interesting one. So guys,
when would you expect someone starting out to have the first experience with their spirit team, I'm assuming? There is no right or wrong answer to this. It's different for everybody. And when we look at our spirit team, I know when people are first developing, it's very important for people to know who's working with me, what do they look like, what's their name. And I believe that, and I was like that. I know I was like that too. I was desperate to know who was on my team. But I do believe with guides as well, when we become aware of that individual, is it a nun? Is it a monk? Is it the Red Indian? I believe the guide chooses to show themselves to us how we need to perceive them.
Yeah.
So if you think of, in which lifetime, if you say, well, who were you? Well, which lifetime, if reincarnation is in fact, real. So if you think of somebody who believes, for example, their guide is a nun, what's a nun? A nun is devoted. A nun is somebody who's dedicated their life to her calling. Or if you look at a monk, somebody who's a fantastic listener, somebody who's very calm and still, somebody where that power just emanates from them, this knowledge and wisdom just emanates from them. So I believe that the way they show themselves is almost symbolic. And the team that work with us in spirit, they have free will too. And I believe it's not just a few people working with us, but beyond that, there will be many, many minds working alongside them as well.
Yeah.
And that team can change. I know I experienced that myself in the early days of development. I was aware of that.
There's a bit of a fun question. Can we ask you a bit of a fun question? Because it's always good to smile and raise the energy. I'm not sure who this is because it's come up as Facebook user on my account.
Okay.
So I'm sorry because I think they're coming out through the group. Deb, did you have a dream job that was not mediumship?
Did I have a dream job? No.
If you did, what would it be?
If I did. Oof.
We should have asked that at the end, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Maybe answer that at the end. We'll finish off.
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah,
I believe I'm doing my dream job. I did all the other bits and pieces, and now what I'm doing is what makes my soul sing, makes me happy. It's what my spirit needs to express itself. So, but that's a good one.
It was a good one. Can I be and ask a question here? I kind of want to take advantage of this, of you having you here, Debs. In terms of modern mediumship, where do you see us going as a medium? What do you see the medium's role in the future?
I believe, again, it's only my sort of opinion. I believe technology is going to be used a lot more. We know through lockdown we had great success with it. I believe that I mean, who knows? Who knows? Perhaps we're going to have massive, large screens and you've got a live audience and a virtual audience. Perhaps it will become completely virtual. I mean, I hope it doesn't, because it's nice to go to a venue and meet up with like-minded people in person. But I believe we are going to go down the route of technology more and more and more.
Yeah.
We're living in a technological age, you know, it's the future.
Absolutely. Here we go. Jenny says she adores your work, or our work. There's another one here from Lou. Hi, Lou. Did you want to read it for me, Mona?
How many spirit guides do you have? Have they changed over time? I believe she answered that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I'll just recap quickly. When I first started developing consciously, it was a big deal to me to know who was on my team. And to answer that question now, I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea, because it doesn't seem to be, for me, it's not about the individual people. I believe there are many, many minds in the spirit world working with us, alongside us, and it changes. So I think if you look at development in terms of like a school system, as we develop and learn more, you have other helpers coming in. So somebody who's just started out, you know, baby steps, like preschool, and then as you go up and up and up, you have different people coming in again.
Yeah.
But I don't believe there's just a few people. I believe there's many minds in the spirit world working alongside us. Yeah.
Again, we've got another question here. Great question, whoever Facebook user is. Have you had days where you struggled with the messages that come in through from someone? Great question.
Absolutely. In fact, I can give you an example. And again, mediumship's experimental, and there are so many factors that come together. It's us, the medium, your recipient, and your spirit communicator. And if just one of those elements is a little bit off, I mean, it won't be the spirit communicator, it will be either the recipient or us, then it's not going to be as good. I had a reading the other day. It was a private reading. I do a lot of readings via WhatsApp or Zoom, and I was working with this communicator in spirit, and just everything I said, this lady said nope, and then I said, you know, it's at the beginning of the reading, I said I'm going to try again, and I did my, you know, I did my opening talk that I do to help relax my recipient and all the rest of it, and it just didn't work. And I said to her, I'm terribly sorry, it's not working today for whatever reason. You know, you haven't done anything wrong, but let's leave it here. Let's leave it here. Let's draw a line in the sand. So this was sort of 5, 7, 10 minutes in. I said, let's leave it here. And then what we did was I've rebooked her for another day. So I think in all the years I've been doing this, I've maybe had to do that 3-4 times. But when we come across it, listen, isn't it better to be honest and just say, hey, it's working? And I said to her, I don't want you to feel disappointed. And then I'm spending this whole reading feeling what on earth's going on here. Let's just draw a line in the sand. It happens. It happens.
And does it work better upon their return? Is there a shift somehow? Or
like I said, it's only ever happened to me over the years, maybe 3-4 times.
Okay.
So listen, it could have been me that day. Perhaps, I mean, she said to me she's incredibly nervous when a new person reads for her. Perhaps she didn't feel ready. Who knows? Yeah. But, let's try again. You know, it's not. Touch wood. It's never happened to me on platform. Never touch wood. Never happened on platform. They've always shown up. Yeah.
That would be tough. Yeah.
So can I just
and you know, that's one thing I had to learn. Sorry, Paul. That's one thing that's one thing I had to learn too in regards to the nose, is really not to be hard on yourself, because a medium can be very hard on themselves, you know, and that creates the block right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Can I ask a question? We've got the lovely Kaylee helping in the background, and she's asked a fantastic question. So I'm sorry, Kaylee, I'm going to ask this. What book would you say had a profound effect on you in your development, personally or professionally? Is there one book that you could put your finger on? I know I have one. I can get one that affected me. Yeah. And that was at the start of my journey.
If you saw the amount of books I've got, you know, I think it's Estelle Roberts.
Yeah.
And a fantastic read about, you know, her journey. Leslie Flint, Voices in the Dark. I've actually got a signed copy from Leslie Flint. That was an interesting story how that came about. The Silver Birch books.
Yeah.
I think that's a must read for anybody. You know, at least I've read a book. Too many to mention. Too many to mention. I think Estelle Roberts, which is one of my sort of favorite all-time reads.
Yeah. Have you ever been? I know I've had a bit of synchronicity with some books, where I found myself people keep suggesting the same book to me, and after the fifth time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to read it.
That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many books you can recommend. There's so much out there. Just keep up taking in as much knowledge as you possibly can.
Yeah, and always treat it like a buffet. What's right for one person might not be right for another. If you're reading a development book, if it sits right with you, take it. If there are bits that don't seem right for you, that's okay to leave it. You know, we're all individuals.
Can you read this one from Lou, please, Monique?
Do you have to be good at meditating to become spiritual?
No, because you can go for a walk. You can do a bit of gardening. It's all about doing something that makes you happy, makes you feel relaxed. There are many forms of meditation. I know some years ago, quite a few years ago, I went on this Buddhist retreat. And it was something when I was living abroad, it came up and I just thought, oh, that's interesting. And the whole weekend, I mean, I didn't know that we weren't meant to talk the whole weekend. That drove me crazy.
Wow.
That knows me. Anybody that knows me knows I'm. But it was fascinating. It was interesting because when we did things like cleaning in a meditative way, just to be mindful of what we're doing, and eating in a calm way, being mindful of what we were doing. So, no, it's not about meditation. However, what is important is that we come to understand and know the feeling of the energy shifting. So that's where it can assist us, and just feeling the difference in the energy when our team draws close, or a communicator draws close, or if we're doing healing, just becoming aware of the shift of power. And if we're busy and hectic, we're not going to learn that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a very common question, and a lot of people just assume that you need to meditate to develop. So, okay, there's another one from Carol. I'm just going to get you on the show soon. There's another one from Carol.
Do you always see them or just hear them? I thought I felt somebody touch me while sitting in the power. Could that be a contact?
Yeah. So if did that question correctly, Carol, are you talking about the spirit communicator or the spirit team? So I work with, luckily, with all the clairs, actually. My strongest clair is clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, you know. So we have to be open-minded, because what I find if I'm working on a platform, for example, and I'm doing an evening of mediumship and I'm bringing through X amount of communicators, with one of the communicators, I might be able to hear them very, very clearly. And with another communicator, I might be working mainly clairvoyantly and with clairsentience. So it's having that flexibility and keeping an open mind. When you were sitting in the power and spirit touched you, I believe it was to do with just giving you reassurance that you needed within your development, saying, hey, this is real and we are here. And I think that's super cool that happened. It's just that confirmation. We are here. Something is happening. You know, you're not just sitting there in sort of nothingness.
Absolutely.
It could have been a contact, but I believe no. I think it would be more spirit team. I don't think the contact would just touch you like that.
Yeah, big one. I believe could be from Zoe, but I think that Zoe's come on later. I think this question's from Zoe.
Oh. I give thanks to facilitators for us to practice, to raise the standards of all aspects of what we do. Recently, I saw a medium read the prayers and philosophy, working on more of a psychic level, going up close to each recipient. It is so important for us to really understand how we are working we are ambassadors and the voice for spirit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your comment, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Psychic isn't a dirty word. Psychism is just as important as mediumship. It has its place in what we do. Not one or the other is above. But if someone's going to work psychically, then they should just say, I am working psychically. They just say, this is how I'm working, you know? People shouldn't be leaving the platform and just going up to people. And the reason why is when they're doing that, they've actually got their back on the audience. And what they're really doing is they're singling someone out, and it's like everybody else isn't important right now, it's just you. And the whole point of platform is that even if not everybody gets the message, it's not possible, but everybody's still touched by the message of others. And that's why we stay on the platform and we don't go across. And that is, yes, I agree. It's to do with standards. But if we look at standards, what are we talking about? It's just talking about educating people. To say we shouldn't leave the platform is not enough. We should be saying you shouldn't leave the platform because you want to include everybody. It's their evening too. So it's about educating people, you know?
Yeah, thank you for that. Another great question coming in from a Facebook user.
Can stress and worry interfere in connecting with spirit? I was learning during first lockdown and I was gaining confidence, but a few stressful things have happened within my family and I feel I can't connect anymore.
Thank you again for this question. Yes, of course, stress and worry can interfere with our connection to spirit. As we develop and as time goes on, we learn to shelf our lives. You know, we learn to put whatever's going on in our lives just to one side. And actually, I've found when I've gone through stressful periods in my life or something's just happened and I've then gone and worked with mediumship, it's actually been a reprieve. It's been a lovely little break because I could forget about my stuff for a minute and just be in that beautiful power. But that takes practice to be able to go, that's my life and now I'm working. That comes in time and I'm sure you'll get there. The other thing I want to say about that is we must remember we're here to live a physical life. So your spirit team won't have gone anywhere. Your development won't have stopped. It will always be going on behind the scenes. But it's just that if you've got a lot going on, you need to focus more on your physical life at the moment. And spirit know that, but they haven't gone anywhere. And they'll still be working behind the scenes. Don't worry too much. It will always come in phases. It's normal.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Changing the vibration a bit. This lady has asked, Jenny has asked a great question. Is there a worldwide spiritual awakening happening? I guess have all of us felt this?
Yeah, we touched on this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where we're having more sensitive children being born off the back of lockdown. You know, a lot of people sort of realised actually there's more to me than just a physical body, which is the awakening, isn't it? There's more to everything. Yes, it is. But again, to go back to what I said earlier, I believe it's trickling, and it has to trickle in order for it to last. It's not just like a boom; it's slow and gradual. But yes, there is. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I certainly feel it. I certainly feel that within me than externally, which sounds a bit bizarre. But then so within as without, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm waffling. Here we go. There's another lovely question here. Katie's done that one, so I'm trying to keep up, guys. I'm sorry. Here we go. Another question from Carol. I'm definitely going to get you in the studio.
Being a medium and feeling its vocation, would you want to reincarnate to carry on with your journey? I've wondered that too. Yeah.
Okay, so if I reincarnated, would I want to be a medium again? Absolutely. Yeah. But if we're talking about carrying on with our journey, we know actually evolving and growing spiritually, it doesn't stop here. We it carries on in the spirit world, and I sometimes do wonder. I wonder what we'll be doing when we get to spirit. Perhaps I'll have the pleasure of working with a medium here as a fledgling guide. Well, not a guide, but someone way in the background. Who knows?
Another one from Thank you guys for helping us out. Who's giving us on? Guys, if you're watching from the Spiritual Talk group, or from Debs's page, or Katie's page, or Monique's page, or even my page, and you're just coming up as Facebook user. If you go into your personal settings, you can change it in there so we can see who you are. There's another question here from Silky Clark.
I'll read that one. Hi, love. Hi, love. What you do on Facebook. So she loves it.
Okay.
You are still a medium, even if you don't always get the golden nugget of evidence. Spirit world is in charge of the messages, and we are not in control. It is so lovely to hear from you how you keep the integrity of your mediumship readings. Blessings, Silky C, medium. She is a medium.
Right, okay. We are in control of our mediumship. We are in control of our mediumship. Yeah. So, and I'll give you an example of this, okay? Say you're working with someone in a one-to-one, and you have two strong characters step forward and want to give their messages to their loved one, okay? Who decides who gets to speak first? It's not them, it's us, the medium. We have to take control of that and say, actually, can I work with you first? I'll ask you politely just to step back. You work with them, and then you bring in the other person. We are in control. If for example, very much in the early stages again of developing, that we become overwhelmed with emotion, or someone actually feels physical pain in their body as evidence, it's not as if we can't do anything about it. We can say, okay, I've registered that, thank you, and now step back and take it off. It's too much. And we can say to our team, hey, I don't want to work like this. In fact, I remember a reading I did years ago, and what happened was I brought through a girl in spirit who had drowned. And it's the first and last time that I had this experience. I became the girl drowning, and I was in a swimming pool, and I could see the water above me, and I was aware I was drowning. And that was so upsetting. And I said to my spirit, hey, please just show me, but don't let me be the one living it. And they never worked like that again. So we can put in our request, and we are in control of our mediumship. It is teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we've got another one from Colin.
Colin Walker. Yeah. Hi, what would be yours and your spirit guide's advice to many souls who are fearful and anxious during these present global changes? Very appropriate question for now.
I can answer it from my own view. I'm not going to sort of have my guides work alongside me right now, but from my own view, I would say it's about a leap of faith. And actually, if we look back throughout history, there's been thousands of times where humanity's gone through difficult testing periods, and I can only imagine when people were going through that, they felt desperate. But we know from the history books, and we know from history that it all turned out all right in the end. And sometimes for positive changes to take place in the world, something has to go bang, something has to give. Sometimes it has to be something massive in order for change to take place. So what I would say to people is hang on in there, and if there's something that's causing you stress, for example, I'm not going to get political or anything, but I know I'm somebody, I can't watch the news. It just upsets me too much. It's just the way I am. What do I do? So I don't watch the news. And I try and give what I can in my own way to the world. So I would say if you find posts on Facebook upsetting or things on television upsetting, then it's okay. It's okay to say, you know what? No, thank you. It's a bit of self-care. That's what I would say. But hang on in there, because all that's happened is a big bang and everything's going to get better in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is a great question. Again, sorry, Facebook user. How has working with spirit changed your own life and outlook in general?
Wow, what a question.
A big
massively. I've become less judgmental. I've become kinder, more compassionate. I'm not interested in what somebody wears or what house they live in or all these material things. And I tend to take people at face value, and I'm more interested in who they are as a person. And I've always been fascinated with what makes people tick. I've always been fascinated with psychology. And what's interesting is that I have a better ability to see both sides of the story now. I think it's just made me a better person. That's what I would say. Not that I was a bad person, please don't misunderstand me. But how can it not enrich our lives?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, cool question.
It was a good question. Yeah. Okay. Another question here.
How do you keep believing? This is a Facebook user again.
Yeah.
If you are told Spirit says this is so, and then repeatedly does not happen.
How do you keep? Okay, so we're looking at trust here.
Yeah.
How do you keep believing if Spirit says? Then it's okay. It is okay to say to Spirit, I believe that this is you telling me this. Can you give me a sign in the physical world? It's okay to do that. I mean, I remember doing my first event abroad when I was living in Germany, and I was so nervous. And my poor team that works with me, they have had patience of a saint, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And I asked them on the journey up in the car repeatedly, is it going to be okay? I mean, I was that nervous, I could have been ill, you know? And they said to me, and they said, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And I said, well, could you give me a sign? And they said, you're going to see 7777. And I was driving on the motorway and I was looking at car registrations and I was looking everywhere. And I was literally 30 seconds away from the venue. And I thought, well, that couldn't have been right. I haven't seen these 4 sevens. And then I looked across and there was this billboard and it said connect 7777. It was an advert, but this massive word connect and then the sevens. So say to them, you know, could you give me something in the real world? Failing that, is it a possibility that it's your own higher self or another part of your mind that's giving it to you? Possibly. Ask them to give it to you in a different way and just allow them to bring it in. It could be I'm just saying it is a possibility that is coming from you, but that would be my advice, you know.
We've got another question here from Andy. Hi, Andy. I've had many things happen at home and I would love to be able to connect. This is a brand new house and have been told I am being overlooked.
Looked over. Watched over.
Looked over. Yeah, sorry, looked over.
I've had many things happen at home. Okay. So again, it's a great question. When we look to hauntings or, you know, things like this, we need to consider 2 things. So firstly, is it residual energy? What is residual energy? Residual energy is just merely energy that's been left behind. If you think of maybe staying a night in a really old B&B and you know, all these stories of waking up and there's a Victorian lady crying in the chair, and everybody's seen it over and over again. That's just residual energy, a memory that's left there. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is, if you're being looked over, why would your loved ones not pop in? And, he's moved into this new home. Why would they not draw close to you? Of course they would. What's happening is you're simply becoming more aware that they're there. They've always been there. It's just your awareness is shifting. So we have to differentiate between, is it residual, you know, old energy, and is it your loved ones coming in? I suspect a bit of both.
Yeah, probably criticizing your choice of curtains or carpet color. Yeah, okay, brilliant. We've had such a great lot of questions. And okay, probably last one from Carol. Sorry, Carol, but here we go. Did you want to read that, Monique?
Okay, Carol Phillips asked, did you face a lot of skepticism from family members when you started to develop, and what do they think now?
Okay, cool question. So I was married before, and I got married very young, got married at 18, and my ex-husband, he didn't believe me that I was a medium, and he said to me, go on then, prove it, Debs. And I thrust my arm in the air, and I became aware that I was on a horse holding a sword. And then I said this really quirky, weird line. I can't tell you what it was. And he just went pale. And it was his uncle, who was an actor. And the line I'd said was from his most famous part for the BBC that he did for the television programme. And he was on a horse with a sword. So that kind of freaked him out a bit. And the other one is my partner now of 12 years. A big skeptic. Okay, so former police officer.
Oh yeah.
And part of his job, so a very logical man. You know, if I can't see it, if I can't touch it, is it real? And part of his job was to head up the fast response team. And so he got a call at 2 a.m. And but to cut a long story short, this guy was they're trying to find this guy. He'd done several things and he wasn't a particularly nice person. And I'm just laying there in bed. This phone call's woken me up. And I said to him, I've got a connection to him if you're interested. And he just rolls his eyes at me. I said, no, seriously. I said, he's wearing blue jeans, a blue polo top. He's eating a hamburger. He's being financially supported by his uncle. And they're telling me Brockenstrasse. And he's living in like a basement, that sort of thing. So he then goes off to work, thinks it's hilarious. And then he came home in the morning at 7 and he said to me, you're not going to believe it, Debs. I mean, he was in shock. He said they'd picked him up, and I'd said Brockenstrasse. They'd picked him up on Brockenhegener Strasse, okay, next to a McDonald's. That's why he was eating a hamburger. And he was being, you know, financially supported by his uncle, and he was living in this basement hiding out there. So I believe the spirit world did that. It's for him to see, because, you know, we're so close and, you know, we're partners and we've been together forever. And that I think it was more to do with him, where he kind of went, crikey, you know, that's you. There's no way you could have known that. And I said, yes, I know. But with my parents and childhood experiences, I'm very lucky in that. So on my mum's side, the family's Catholic, and my grandmother used to take me to church. And I've always been lucky that my parents have, you know, believed me when I had these childhood experiences. And my family is incredibly supportive of what I do, So I'm very, very lucky. I know it's not always like that in every family. I am very lucky. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's one more question. So no more questions, guys. But there is one I feel that we should. Can you see that, Monique?
Alison Swanky. My mom passed away in July, and I dreamt she came and gave me a cuddle. Is this her visiting me and comforting me?
Absolutely, Alison. Absolutely. These spirit dreams are incredibly common, you know. And the reason why it often happens in the dream state is simply because that ego part of ourselves, our own mind, is not getting in the way, and we're in that relaxed state. And it's incredibly common. And it wasn't just a dream. It was your spirit and your mum's spirit connecting and hugging. And isn't that just beautiful?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really, really, really common. So many people have those dreams and loved ones coming to us. That's after my own father passed. I had nothing from him for 5 years. And one day I dreamt it was so real. It was him. So,
yeah.
Debs Kiely, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for agreeing to come back on.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So many lovely comments, even from Zoe Toombs, who's saying how relaxing you sound and how amazing you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure, Debs.
Pleasure. Absolutely.
Okay. Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh, wow.
What a lovely lady.
We could have been here all night.
Yeah.
Just interviewing.
That went so fast. I can't believe it.
I can't believe how fast that went as well. And the questions were just flowing and flowing. Thanks, everybody, for your input. We love all the questions. And it is a unique opportunity we offer you guys to question. We're hoping to get we do get some of the best mediums in the world. Mm-hmm. And you know, so take the opportunity, spread the word. So, Monique, it's that time of day again.
Yeah. I guess we better get ready. I'm
Yeah.
going to turn the camera around and have it shoot my canvas so I can start drawing and connecting. So bear with us. This just takes a second.
Yeah, we should have also got Debs to pick a name. So,
oh yes,
it's your turn this week, Monique.
No, I think it's yours.
Is it my turn? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
My turn then, guys. If you just like and share, and we're gonna work together and hopefully bring through somebody's loved one. And I've got someone already that's been here. I'm not joking. They've been sitting behind me all evening. So
okay, sorry. I thought we were going to pick somebody for the free reading.
Yeah, we can do that now. Do you want to do that now?
Would you like me to choose for you then, Paul?
Yeah, I can do, or we can do it at the end. I don't mind.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because then people keep sharing them, Monique.
Right. Good
for
point.
A chance to win a free reading. So,
good point.
And share. Thank you, Lou.
All right. Here we go.
So, yeah, I'm very aware of someone with me straight away. I'm just going to give you a minute to compose yourself. While I'm here, I just want to thank everybody because Monique and I, we did a demonstration for breast cancer research on Saturday evening at the St. Giles House Hotel in Norwich. We raised a fantastic sum of £804. So thanks to everybody that came along and supported that for that event. Also, thank you to Monique and the hotel, but also Kiely, who did so much in the background. She got so many small businesses. A young lady even won a brand new garage door. Supplied and fitted, which is brilliant. So great work, everybody. Thanks, Kiely. Thanks, Monique. And it was also a first, Monique, for us, wasn't it?
Yes. Talk about modern mediumship and technology.
What Debs was saying, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay, I'm very aware of a gentleman with me, Monique. You want to connect? If you feel him, I'll start.
You go ahead. I'll try to.
Okay, I'm very aware of a gentleman with me. I know this gentleman is Dad because he's trying to get through to his son. Now, and as he steps through, I know exactly who this is and exactly who I've got. When you work with spirit, you literally, and I'm this is a bit of a joke as well, as a private joke, and I will tell you later, Monique, on this particular person. But this gentleman is coming. I recognize him before. He's been in before, and he wants to connect with his son. Now, I'm hoping this person is watching because I can feel him. He's introducing himself to me as he comes in. He's making me aware of his mobility is okay. He's walking is fine, but he wants to talk to his son, and his son's name is Paul. So if you're listening, Paul, I do feel, because I know this gentleman really, really well, and he's literally, I'm not joking, Monique, he has been here all night.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to start drawing.
Okay.
All right.
So I believe this is to do with Paul Cook. I'm going to share the StreamYard link here. I'm going to try and get you into the studio because I think it's really, really important that you come into the studio so we can get a better connection. Hang on. Edit. So I'm just copying and pasting, guys. Here we go. So I'm now sharing the StreamYard link. So if you could jump in, that will be fantastic. This gentleman comes in with so much pride for you, Paul, so much connectedness as well. He needs to talk to you. Personally, I do feel you don't have to come on and show yourself because I know, it can be awkward sometimes if we're in our PJs. But I'd like to be able to connect with you. If you can just come in and we hear your voice, that would be fantastic. I can feel it. Thank you. He's coming. Thanks, Lou. I feel the London connection so strong. It's what is in his roots. It's in his blood. It's this gentleman is, I hate to say this, is London through and through. His family are from London. There's so many connections to London with this gentleman.
I can actually feel the city, the sounds,
yeah,
the smells of the city as you
the
speak.
hustle and the bustle. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What we call a subway. What would you call it there in London?
The underground.
The underground, yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Thank you, Laura. That's brilliant. People are still sharing. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get in the link. I might have to share that again. If you can get in the link, that would be fantastic.
I feel this man's already come through in his eyes. I can feel him.
Cool. Cheeky as well. There's a real sense of very generous man, good fun. I also feel that very much a gentleman as well. In the right time, manners maketh the man. With this
Quite
gentleman,
yes,
very charming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also he's making me aware of Alan that would be over spirit side with him. He's making me aware of the name Alan Al as well. The other thing with this, I do know this gentleman went over into spirit quite quickly. It was unexpected. And those gentlemen was poorly, but I do feel his passing was unexpected. He's making me aware of that. I've had this gentleman in before, so I'm hoping you can come in on stream, Paul. We know why this gentleman is here. He's given me the information why he's here. Are you there, Paul? Are you able to come in? He's probably sitting at home panicking. He can't come in, Monique, on the link. We'd start this and we don't know how people are receiving this on the other side. Somehow it's not working. Is it possible you could do it on your phone, guys? You should still be able to come in on your phone. Or I'm just trying to think how else I can do that and share this. Let's try again. Let me copy it. I'm not sure if that's any different to the last one. I don't think it is. I think it's exactly the same. It should click in.
I can literally feel spirit waiting here. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and I can feel this gentleman's heart issues as well. I'm not feeling tight chest with him, whether it's asthmatic, I'm not sure. But he's also making me aware of Marleybone or Marleybone Road or Marley. He keeps giving me that as a connecting to him. Do you understand this information that I'm bringing through, Paul, as well, if you're not able to get on? Great picture, Monique.
Definitely a loving father. I can feel the love of a father coming through.
So much so. Yes, he does understand. You understand the Marley or Marleybone he's trying to give me as well. Yes. Hi, Paul. Paul's on, but I don't think you can get in. I know we was joking today, actually. I spoke to Paul today. We was joking about his haircut. It could be why he's not coming on. So... Okay, just going to keep this going. I know your personal situation, what's here, Paul. And this gentleman is making me aware that he's drawing close to you at this time. I also, okay, still trying. Okay, mate. Even if you can do it on your phone and you can't get in with your camera, it's absolutely fine. So much power from this gentleman. He would, when this gentleman was healthy, he was a really strong man, really hard working. I know I've brought this man through because he's given me evidence about the old people's home, saying he would never get in there on his deathbed, but you get him in an old people's home. There's no way, over his dead body. And he meant that as well. He meant that. Really strong here. But do you understand the friend or the colleague, the owl, the Alan, the owl? And he's trying to give me the name Tommy as well. And I know I've given you that before in the past, I believe. The name Tommy that connects to him. That's a shame. I wanted to see Paul's haircut as well. Look. But, this gentleman, literally, when I came in the cabin tonight, it is brilliant. You're absolutely right, Charmaine. That's a brilliant, Monique. This gentleman has been in the cabin and standing behind me. Guys, we come online about an hour before we go live just to prepare and talk to our lovely guest, and then we go live. But this gentleman's been here an hour before I went live. Tommy, yes, brilliant. Fantastic. This gentleman comes through with so much love. He's also trying to give your mum lilies.
Yes.
Would you understand lilies? He would have given her lilies. Was connecting with her from lilies. I'm so choked as well. I'm really choked at the moment because I know what's happening in your personal life. I'm choked about the situation. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm sorry, Paul. If you can't get on, we'll leave this, love. Can you recognize the picture of Dad? Because he's been standing around as well. And I know this gentleman had a mobility issue before the end, but he's been standing around and looking around my cabin all night waiting for this. Really strong. Do you see the resemblance in there? Yeah, you've got a lot of fans. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Wonderful. Brilliant. Yeah. There's also, he had a heart issues. Yeah, perfect. Also, he's trying to give me the name. I'm not sure if it's Jerry or Jenny. So much emotion with this gentleman. And this is why so much frustration. I will finish this contact off. I kind of want you to go and see Mum. Okay.
Yes, I do feel reference to mother as well. His mother. Yeah.
My mum was Jenny. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This gentleman had a really good sense of humor. Because he's telling me how good looking he was when he was a younger man. So I know he would have ribbed, so he'd have come pointing out how good looking he was. Would you understand that with your dad being that kind of charisma, that character? I love this. He's also trying to give me the name Joy that links to him. I feel this is rather hit on Dad's side. He always said that he was good look. Yeah, he's definitely a good looking gentleman. Yeah, he always I love that.
He comes through at at a peak age, I believe. This is the age he wanted to come through at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strong, virile, healthy.
Yeah, it's just flying through with names. The name Brian, also the name John that connects to him as well.
Very, as you say, very hardworking man. He worked hard the majority of his life, I feel.
He's also, making me aware about you traveling down south in the spring. And I know you've told me that. His name was John. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay. Oh, there's another one as well. It's just trying to give me more names and more names. Brian was his best mate. Thank you. The other thing is, would you understand with his tablets? He was really stubborn, didn't take them all. Always like, really? That kind of thing. Wasn't great with taking his tablets. He needed looking after. And I do feel that was someone very close to him that was helping him with that. But I just think he was a bit blasé about the tablets he was on. Definitely. Okay, brilliant. And you understand. Oh, I know you guys. And yes, with the tablets, I feel so emotional with this gentleman right now. And I know it's to do with what's happening in your personal life. And He didn't take them. Yeah. Yeah, he's a bit blasé. He's a tough guy, though, your dad. He was a tough guy, you know.
It certainly was.
Gosh. Yeah. Yeah. This is probably the strongest he's been through tonight. I definitely feel there's a reason for that, and we know what that reason is. And okay. And again, he's making me aware of your daughter. He's sending lots of love to your daughter. I know you've got 2 children, but he's sending lots of love specifically at this moment in time to your daughter. Okay, just because she needs that a little bit of love right now. Okay. So strong, so independent, and he was the man to put things right. And yeah, okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna that. Yeah. Yeah, Monique, that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys. Well, we will obviously Monique will email that or message you that picture. That's a brilliant picture. Thanks, Monique.
Definitely. They recognized that, did they? Good.
He was the center of the family. Yeah, absolutely. I will finish off the message it's given to me. I will contact you guys and let you know. Okay. Okay. Monique, we have 10 minutes.
Yes.
Could we do a quick one? Did you want to go? Did you want to go?
We also have the draw as well.
Yeah. Did you? I was going to say, did you want to just do mediumship?
Sorry? You mean
did you want to just focus on mediumship? Would you like that?
You mean you want to do another one?
No, only I was just saying if you wanted to do your mediumship as well, because a lot of people see your drawings and how good you are with your drawings, but they don't always get that opportunity to see how good a medium you are.
Well, thank you very much. But I'm not sure that we have time to do one more, do we?
We've got about 8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
And we still have the draw, okay.
I mean, if you want to come back on camera, me and you can do a link without drawings. You don't have to do drawing. We can do mediumship.
I can do a drawing in 3 minutes.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Let's work together. Let's work together as a team. I
awesome.
was a professional cord illustrator for many years, and that's where I get the speed from. So
yeah, that must have been something else, being in court and getting the characters of some of the people in court and all the emotion, Monique.
Oh yes, there were stories to be told there too.
You could write a book just about that, I'm sure.
Well, I have other subject matters that probably be preferable, like what we're doing here is an absolute miracle. So let's see what else I can get here quickly. All right, I'm getting a woman. She doesn't seem that terribly old, and light hair, maybe blondish or light fair-haired lady. Curly hair. I see her literally looking down. I'm just trying to get a sense of who she is.
Do you want me to give you some more?
Yes, please. Do you see her, Paul?
I can see her, yes.
Great, great.
I can feel her as well.
Great, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll get more as I draw. Go ahead.
Okay, I've got a lovely lady. She's quite petite in her stature.
Yes, she is.
But and very delicate in her nature. But that was one side of her. And I do feel there was duality with this lady. There was a strong side to her. But physically, there was a very... kind of mild, kind of almost really gentle lady, but physically very frail as well towards the end. I'm also being made aware, I believe this lady had, if it wasn't angina, it was something very similar, because she's making me aware of that, like missing a heartbeat and having fluctuations and palpitations as well. Okay.
I feel like she was a quiet, demure. Not necessarily demure, but quiet.
You've absolutely got it. Head
for most of her life, in fact, most of her life.
You've just brought her to life with her eyes, Monique. I've got cold shivers as I'm sitting here watching draw. Because I'm seeing her, and I know you're seeing her. But you've just brought her to life for me as well, because the eyes are spot on with this lady.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel she was called Gran rather than Nan. She was Gran rather than Nan. Okay, I know. She makes me aware. I feel. Where do you feel country-wise with this, Monique?
Your neck of the woods there, Paul. I'm feeling.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm glad we're on the same page. I feel she was UK, or potentially UK. I also see her being about 5'2", quite like I say, small petite lady.
I'm getting a feeling of a senior's home too. Do you feel that?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Oh, as I felt into that, Monique, I felt possibly like a sheltered old people's place rather than a sheltered housing, rather than an old people's home. But I can see her wearing a skirt, wearing tights, she's got like moccasin slippers on. I'm also, and I keep hearing, she keeps rattling her pockets because there's little bits and pieces in her pockets, like it might have been keys, jewelry, whatever there is. She was always rattling. There was always bits and odds and ends in her pockets. Does anyone understand this? I'm also feel that I'm reaching for my daughter here. I feel it's daughter in the audience. She's trying to give me the G as well that connects, but I kind of can't pronounce the G. I'm going to try in a minute. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to hold that for a second, see if
those items in your pocket that you were talking about, those were representative of some certain things special in her life. I feel there's a few that I do feel that a few items in her pocket that she carried around.
Yeah. I'm just going to say this because she's making me aware that as much as she was a strong-minded lady, she also would have had a good sense of humor. She would have laughed at herself. There's some kind of joke here about hairs on her chin. So I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. This lady's telling me about there's a joke. There's 1 or 2 hairs on her chin, and she's making a joke of it, and that's why she's giving me that evidence. Okay, I'm just going to keep going with this. She's also making me aware of a January birthday. And also, okay, thank you. Also a January passing. Connie, okay. Does anybody understand this information? I think this is my great nanny. Okay. Strong-minded lady. Strong-minded lady. What are you saying? Would you understand the number 32 that associates to her house number? She's trying to give me that as evidence. 32. All right, thank you. And Maureen, she's trying to give me the name Maureen as well, that connects to her. And also the name Mary, that also connects to her. I know thank you. She's talking about a brother in spirit with her as well. Jules Goldsmith. Do you understand this, Jules? I mean, can you jump on the link? If you understand this, guys, jump on the link because we are running out of time. So I want to try and give this as much. Monique, do you have any more?
Let's see. I'm as I draw, you see, it's so funny because I saw her to start as a younger lady. And this happens to me now and then. As I draw, she gets older and older. Sometimes it can happen the other way around.
Yeah.
I see them older and they ask me to draw them younger as the drawing progresses. There's a story behind that. So, so I did see I did see her in her younger years. Now she's older. As I said, I feel, I don't know what you call it where you are, Paul. Like, I feel that she was we would call that a home or assisted living.
Yeah, absolutely. Same as, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I've got a piece of evidence that might help people.
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
It looks like my gran. I wouldn't be okay. Would you understand the lovely George, she said. The lovely George is what she said. I feel that was either a brother or a partner. She keeps saying this, my lovely George.
Isn't that nice?
My gran was in a care home. Would you also understand the name Wilma or Sure, it's Wilma. Okay. You know, when we talk about mediumship, which we have with Debs tonight, with when I hear, sometimes I hear it pure, sometimes I almost feel the words. George was her sister's hubby. But would you understand her referring to him as a lovely man? He's a lovely man. It's not my mum. Sorry, Jules, that's okay. First time for me. I have a daughter in spirit. Sorry to hear that, Lorraine. Yeah, George, possibly could be with you then, Lou. You're more than welcome to come in. We have literally a minute left. Oh my God, Monique. That is just, I just can't believe that. That is exactly how I see it. It's just amazing. Honestly, I've got tingles. Do you understand the picture, George? Yeah, Lou. I mean, because I do feel there's a picture of her, and I've got it now, Monique. I do see her sitting outside like a sheltered accommodation, just being outside and going little tiny garden, you know, postage stamp. Definitely my gran. Okay, that's lovely. The pic is amazing. Thank you. So even though you guys couldn't come in tonight, it's interesting how spirit can still come through. Obviously it helps with the messages and the feedback. Monique, that is awesome.
This lady, I feel quite a bit of, there's lots of family, or there was a lot of family around her. I feel she had, there was several people there. She's making me to feel all of her family.
Lou Cook has taken her. She believes it's her gran. She would have been known as Gran rather than Nan, she said. And she said she kept talking about the lovely George. He was lovely. The lovely George. And it sounds like the Wilma, or I'm not sure, but she keeps giving me a Wilma, or it could even be Winifred. I'm sorry, I can't be specific on that. But that's exactly, the eyes are so spooky. Anyway, Monique, we have overrun slightly. Okay, but that is awesome. Again, we will send the pictures through to Lou and Paul. Thank you ever so much, everybody. It's been an absolutely wonderful evening. Really enjoyed it again, as I always do. Thanks again to Debs Kiely. She's absolutely brilliant for coming on and talking about answering so many questions from the audience. I mean, these guys give up their own personal time, you know, to pay for their time. They are so expensive. And it's been a wonderful opportunity for them, or for us, those guys coming on.
Absolutely.
Monique, did you want to pick a name?
Okay. I'm going to pick Kate Penella.
Kate, let me just write this down so I don't forget.
Yes, please do.
So, Kate, if you get in contact with me, we can arrange.
Facebook user.
Yeah.
Kate Penella. Congratulations, Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Paul will be giving you a reading if you can contact us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Monique. It's been awesome. We're coming back on tonight, aren't we? We're working tonight in. Where are we tonight, Monique?
New York.
New York.
Virtually via New York, the Soul Center. Spiritual Oasis Universal Learning Center out of New York. So and that would be 11:30 your time, Paul.
Yes.
And 3:30 mine. So
gonna go and have a power nap.
Go get a nap in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you this time next week. Our guest is Paul Ambillion. We cannot wait again. Another fabulous guest, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you ever so much, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye for now. Bye.